Well, you're probably waiting for the show to start. Well, I can understand that. And trust me, you were in the right place. But before we start the show, we got to let you know that today's show is brought to you by a very special and new sponsor to the show. None other than Southern New Hampshire University. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And you know I'm excited about it. Number one, because they're doing a great thing in terms of helping people overcome, some of the experience barriers that are holding people back, right? And we know that that comes up a lot as we progress through this professional world and just adulthood, right? So with SNHU, the beautiful part about them is this. They are designed for people like you and me, man. The ones that are busy, but might can make some time to be on the online space and, multitask, so to speak. And that is what SNHU brings to the table. The largest, or one of the largest, accredited nonprofit online degree offerings. Man, it is a dope thing that they got going on over there. One of the programs that stood out to me the most is their sports management program, in terms of being able to, number one, work at your own pace. They have multiple times throughout the year where you're able to get into the course and ultimately progress through at your own speed, 24/7 access. I mean, those are beautiful things, especially when we're just talking about the working person, the busy person, the person with the family out there. SNHU. Oh, they trying to hook you up. They trying to help you out, baby. Now, like I said, for myself, man, I've utilized the online program very similar to this, and I can tell you firsthand the benefits that come from these type of programs, and what SNHU is offering, man. You don't want to miss out on it. So check out the link. All right. snhu.edu/Arthur Moats. All right. You check that out. Obviously, this is all in the description as well. But I want you to check that out, man. Look at that sports management program and just see some of the average salaries associated with degrees in this field, man. Could definitely be something that might motivate you, make you want to go out there and do something special out there and, ultimately put yourself on an even better trajectory. But with that being the case, you see right here, SNHU, Southern New Hampshire University. I stand by them, and as always, keep being great. But now I think it's time to get back to the show. So, you already know, don't touch that dial, baby.
Next, we got DKB17. Elaborate on the situation with Jeremy Chinn.
So the Jeremy Chinn situation was essentially he was a free agent this offseason, and the Steelers were interested in signing him. Ultimately, he took less money to sign with the Washington Commanders, who have Dan Quinn as their head coach now over in Washington. And was it about a week ago? I think it was a little over about a week ago. About a week ago.
A report came out.
Yeah,
I think it might have been directly from him.
Yeah.
He might have been on a podcast. Probably was on a podcast.
If I was on a podcast, man. They asked him about his free agency decision, and he said, yeah, man, I turned down the sales. I took less money to go to Washington. And obviously, this is on the heels of Patrick Queen saying that he took less money to come to Pittsburgh. And we all reacted accordingly. Like, yeah, of course, you better take less to come here. This is where you're supposed to be at, man. Ain't nothing like that black and gold. So for it to be literally, a week later, this other cat is like, yeah, I chose to go to Washington over Pittsburgh. You're like, bro, whoa, what's wrong with you, bro? And that's what we said. Not everybody makes the best decisions. But, to each their own. Would you have made that decision, Deke?
Yeah, worse organization, less money.
It's like, yo,
versus better organization, more money.
Why you want to do that? Get a chance to win way more, playing relevant games, get your name even bigger. But I get it.
I don't know if he said this in his podcast interview, but if the role was more certain in Washington, then I get it. Like if he felt more comfortable about the fit and what they would have him doing, where he can get back to maybe what he was doing in his rookie year, where he was like an all rookie type of player, then I think that's a wise move. Like to potentially extend your career to the best way you can. I think that's more valuable than taking a short-term increase on a contract.
And honestly, I can 100% agree with that, because partially that's kind of what I lived. Took less to come to Pittsburgh, different situation in terms of the defense, but it gave me an opportunity to do something that I felt more comfortable with and I thought I could thrive at, and ultimately it paid off. So for Jeremy, he could be looking at it in a similar way. Hey, I feel more comfortable playing free safety, But who's the free safety here in the black and gold that everybody is talking about? They can't wait for him to get back to doing what he's accustomed to doing. Minkah Fitzpatrick. So it could have been the scenario where kind of like when we talked about Justin Simmons and we said, man, I like Simmons and Minkah together, but they got some similarities in their game. So one of them are going to have to do the uncomfortable stuff. Jeremy Chinn might be feeling the same way about himself and saying to himself that, man, if I come here, that's going to put me more in that box where I got to do more of that dirty work. Whereas I might want to be the guy that gets to be in that post and do more of the ball hawking and just seeing everything. And that's legitimate. A guy like Deshaun Elliott, not to the same caliber, but I think for him, he's more comfortable doing more of that, be the box, almost an extra linebacker type, and play that in his game, and he can still do the coverage stuff. Whereas I think for Jeremy Chinn, it's more of the reverse. He wants to go do some of that coverage stuff a little bit more per se, but he also, I think,
fits. Yeah, what happened with him? Is that what he was doing initially his rookie year?
I don't remember.
It's either vice versa.
It flipped.
It's either he was doing the box linebacker
and
stuff,
then it flipped,
and then they moved him to safety, and it hasn't worked out as much, or he was doing safety, then they moved him up and moved him around and made him versatile and stuff, and I guess he just never really kept up the same level of play.
And then you also have, like I said, for him, the familiarity with the Dan Quinn. Now, when you talk Dan Quinn, when you talk, like I said, Bobby Wagner also signed out there this offseason to go to Washington, you get some familiarity. So I'm like, okay, to an extent, maybe that is also a draw for him. But to me, I just think of whatever that flip was, because I know exactly what you're saying, where we all was agreeing. It's like, yo, he was nice. And then it was like, yo, is it just the situation or what's up? Yeah. So,
well, they've had turnover down there in Carolina. So, I mean, that's
just a little bit, turnover.
That type of stuff expected.
You start playing, hey, man, this defense, they want you play here, that defense, they want you play there, this quarter, they want you play over here. He's like, hey, bro, man, I just want to go to where I know this guy and I can just play this spot and I feel confident and I'm good. I like this look right here. But